What have I done recently? Oh, it's been so much since the last stream. Um, Loads of stuff. Loads of stuff. I don't know where to start. Let's go for the home base. Ignore some of this because again, some of this is still not placeholder, but um, basic. For example, these little labels down here shouldn't be there, and these buttons at the bottom have all got the same icons. It's just something I'm working on at the minute. It's things like these icons and stuff I need to get a designer to do really, because there's a limit as to how many I can buy off the Unity asset store. But your home base now, where you start off, if I launch out, is an actual one arm in there. Ryan, it's busy over here. I fly back to my home base. Oh, some of this map's going to be wrong, like these circles in the wrong place, because I've been redoing the map and adding more sectors. So the live game, as it were, is out of sync with actually what's on the map. How many different ships are there? So AQ2's got all of the same ships from AQ1, except you can also fly all of like the NPC ships, so the trader ships and stuff. And then new ships as well, including new ship types. So there's like carriers, for example. One example of the carrier is the Susurrus. They call it the Susurrus. It won't be flying around in the sector, but it's a big old carrier ship. There's a bunch of others, like the Padlock trader ship, and some of the other ships have been reworked and things. I can show you those. So this is your home base. This is like your own private sector. There'll be kind of story related stuff going on here. Recently just put in the actual model for it. So this is where you live. You upgrade the station with various bits and pieces. So it's got some familiar old stuff like drones, but drones have been improved. So you scan for things around. And just again, this interface is all still rough. I'm going to polish this up as we go, but it's iterative, so it's getting better all the time. So there's like an asteroid field down here. I don't know if you can see my cursor. Can you see my cursor? I can't remember if I've turned that on. I can't see on my stream preview. Let's have a look. Don't think you can see it. Let's just see if I can toggle that on so I can point things out. Cursor. How do we do cursors? Let's see. Capture cursor. Oh, it should be capturing it. No, it's not. There was just an update to the streaming software, so maybe that broke it. But at the bottom here, you've got asteroid fields anyway, and if you hit dispatch drones, that will fire off your drones. And at the top left, you can see it says active, and they're flying off and doing stuff. So similar to the first game, but with new mechanics for scanning, and there will also be different types of drones and different things that you get back from them, so it's not just plain resources. Excuse me. I don't talk very much in the day, so my throat gets dry, so I've got a cup of tea. Yeah, so drones can come back with mission intel or stuff. There's a game in a borderless window. Might be, might well be. Is that a thing? Is that? It's not window, but it might be borderless window. That's something I'll check for the next stream. Yeah, so the drones can come back with mission intel or other stuff like that. More interactive, and they'll also do fights and things eventually, so you can upgrade your drones defense and offense. And I'm thinking maybe have it like so you can build individual drones and send them out, so you can kind of make your own fleet. Just got some resources back there again. The reports are rubbish. All right, I'm going to run to the other side of the room and give myself an actual cough, so I'm not going to cough into the mic. Yeah. And I'm back in the room. Sorry, I should have throat sweets every time I talk. So, yeah, drone reports be better. We've got your research for researching. So similar to AQ1, where you pick up research from battles, you do the same in AQ2, but you'll get them from salvaging wrecks and things, which I can show you. Will it support monitor screens higher than 60 hertz? Yeah, I think so. I mean, this monitor is 144. Let's see what's running in. Yes, this is running at 144 hertz. To answer some questions, are there any new weapons? Yes, there's also different types of weapons. So, for example, there's weapons like the engine dampener, which I've got working, where you'll be persistently firing it at an enemy ship. So it's like a toggle on and off, and that will slow the enemy ship down. And different things like that. And there's all different classes of weapons as well. So there's like auras that will affect all the ships around you. There's deployables. There's drones as well as fighters. Fighters are like bigger drones. There's siege weaponry. There's boarding pods for capturing stations, which is something new, which I think I'll go through as well. There's illegal variants of weapons. So the research, yeah, you unlock different qualities. So I don't know if I've mentioned this before, but just to refresh, for example, these engines. I know it says railgun there, but it's actually an engine. Come in different qualities, F being the lowest, S being the highest. So once you research F quality, then you can build F, get more fragments, research E quality, build E stuff, and so on and so forth. The workshop is where you can craft stuff, similar to AQ1, but in AQ2 things can be taken on and off your ship, and you could like just build stuff just to trade with other people if you wanted on the black market, because it's a player-to-player trading. What's the difference between illegal weapons and legal weapons? Illegal weapons are just much better, but when your ship is destroyed, you won't be able to reclaim them. So, yeah, that's the kind of trade-off there, is that you will have to just rebuild them, recraft them. So, yeah, let's just... These are all locked. They shouldn't really be locked. Let's go for Javelin, for example. I can craft a Javelin by selecting the tier. The tier is the kind of weapon class, so corvettes will have more tier 1 weaponry, Titans will have more tier 4, and you can set the quality and it'll tell you how many parts you need, and then you can craft it. I should log into my other account because it's got more stuff on. But you'll craft that. There'll be a timer. The timers are quite short because I'm not doing any pay to speed up. There's no pay to speed up anywhere in the game. The only use of credits, credits being what they were called in AQ1 and AQ2. Oh no, they are still called credits. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, the chips and credits. Yeah, credits. The use of credits, which is the premium currency, is just for cosmetics. Are there any illegal cargoes you can get into trouble for? Yes, because you can salvage cargo. You could salvage illegal stuff and get caught if you're going through places with lots of AQ security. Plans for a building queue. There's no building queue at the minute. Some of it's separated out. So, for example, I can do stuff in the workshop and research separately, but that's kind of the same. There's no queue. I could introduce a queue. That could work. That's something I can look at. But I'm hoping like the times to build this stuff are going to be quite short. So there's no real need to queue stuff up. Because I don't want this to be a game where you're locked into waiting 7 days for like the best item or whatever. And I'd rather do stuff where you could like bribe extra workers to rush stuff or something, but not with premium currency, with like regular in-game currency, stuff like that. But I'll look into ways of making it balanced between timers and rushing stuff, if you see what I mean. Because I don't want it to be instant, like just click swarm, craft, click swarm, craft. But I don't want it to be click swarm, come back tomorrow. Will smaller ships be viable using mechanics like Eve, where some weapons will do less damage against smaller ships? Yes. So weapons, say, come in different tiers. I mean, here I can build up to tier 4, but there are tier 5, which are like the big siege weaponries. I don't know if it'll say it on here. So if we go for something like a pulse cannon, in the list of its stats here, you have tracking strength. It's got a tracking strength of 100, which is kind of similar to Eve, if you're familiar with how Eve sensors work, but it's somewhat simplified. It hasn't got the whole turret turning speed versus ship kiting speed, because I think that's just way too complicated. Essentially what it says here is that the smaller the weapon, the smaller the target it can hit effectively. So if my tracking strength is 100 and the size of my ship is 200, you can kind of visualize that as two circles. Big 200 circle and a smaller 100 circle is kind of pinned down on it. If you had it the other way around, where you've got a ship which is 100 and then a bigger circle around it which is 200, then you can kind of see that that's where the weapon's firing and it's got more chance to miss. If you've got a big siege weapon, that might have a circle of like 1,000. You're trying to hit a ship which is the size of a 100 circle, more room for it to miss, if you see what I mean. I'm trying to do this, explain this better with some wiki posts and things like that, but effectively, yeah, you've got to manage your weapons. And that's not to say that you couldn't have a tier 4 weapon that was good against small ships, because you could have like a tier 4 weapon which was like dual tier 1 railguns, if you see what I mean. But you're wasting a big tier 4 turret then on something which is going to be targeting smaller ships. You've also got to manage your range. You're going to have a range and then a maximum range. So the range on this is 100. The max range is an extra 50. So if you're at 150, you're not going to hit anything. If you're at 100, you're going to have like full accuracy. That doesn't mean you're going to hit every time, but it means you're going to be, that's your most accurate, 0 to 100 meters, and then 100 to 150 meters is kind of where it falls off. Over 150 meters, the turrets won't even fire. They'll just wait till the target comes within that range. So the difference between solo and group battles, yeah, should be quite interesting, because there's going to be larger battles. This isn't limited to, what was it, like 9v12, if you're doing like a station battle. This could be 9 versus 50 or 3 versus 1. So group play is a bit more important. The emphasis on using like auras for bigger ships to support fleets and repair rays, targeting assistance type stuff, can really change how the dynamics of a large battle if you're playing with different with lots of people. So I'm reading at the same time as talking, so I tend to ramble a bit. So if, let's say, you're flying with 2 of your friends, one of you could have a massive ship, another one could have a ship which is dedicated to clearing out the battle, salvaging, repairing on things, and then you could have like a dedicated salvaging and what do they call it, deconstructing wrecks and stuff. And one ship could be like fleet assistance, repair, and auras and things. Or you can fit a role better. You can equip your ships to better fulfill a certain purpose. I mean, one of you, for example, could just be a trader, and the other one could just be flying along, making sure they don't get blown up, or a miner and then a trader to just shuttle off the wares, or a couple of miners and someone there to defend them. The tracking mechanic based on chance. So there is the tracking mechanic. Sorry, is chance based, but within reason. I mean, it's not like you're always going to hit if you're in range. There is a bit of a random element, but it's biased towards what weapon you're using, how they're flying. So if you've got tier 1 weapons against corvettes, then that's kind of like optimal, and you're going to be hitting a lot of the time, and you can do certain levels of damage. So you might have like a really light hit if you're quite inaccurate, or get like a really heavy hit if you're quite accurate, if this makes sense. Again, I'll post this all up in whatever wikis I can do. I'm not very good at explaining this stuff. I mean, you've all seen my writing and things before. I'm not great at it, so I do apologize. And with heavier hits as well, you have a chance of dealing damage to subsystems on these ships, which is another new thing. So yeah, there's an element of chance, but it's chance based on what you're doing. You're not going to get like stupidly unlucky or stupidly lucky based on this. But you're not going to go, okay, they're 100 meters, I've got a 100% hit rate. For example, would it be possible for a single player to win against a small group by being more skilled? Yeah, if you're equipped right. I mean, if it's all based on kind of what you're loaded out to do. If you've got the right weaponry, the right equipment, and also you've got character skills as well. So like the the skills in AQ1, but they're more advanced. They're not in this version at the minute because I've toggled them off because they're not working. But there is like a full skill tree you can go through to give you some bonuses. And yeah, your gear is quite important and things. And also positioning on the battlefield, things with like dust clouds and things. You're the only one that can't find the particle beam. Do I not have particle beam on there? I'm missing that. I don't think they're all on there anyway. Where's the... Yeah, they're not all on there. I can't find some of the new weapons. This isn't where I'm kind of testing at the minute because you can buy all the stuff on the market. I'll jump to that. Yeah, there's a shipyard. I don't have any ships, but you can jump to new ships and you can also upgrade your ships. That's not working at the moment. Up for discussion because I want to do something like subsystems, but not subsystems. More of a, you can upgrade your ship, but you'll get certain negatives. So you maybe upgrade your ship for more cargo or more defense or more offense, but that's going to impact in a different way. So it's not like subsystems. The artillery weapon, that's just a really long range impact weapon. Just to vary things up a bit. I should do a full list of all this stuff because again, this isn't all of it. You've got storage on your shared base. This is storage shared between your characters. So, oh yeah, some mentioned characters. Skills you unlock. Yeah, so you can have multiple characters and this home base here and all this stuff is shared between your characters. They all share the same home base, so you won't be progressing from 0 on a new character, but they do have their own skill trees, their own bank accounts, and their own ships that they use. So you could have one character which is really invested in mining, one which is invested in combat. They can be in different corporations if you want. But they will share this research. So if you start a new character, you're not starting from scratch. You've just got another character you can play with, and you can both contribute to this shared storage and the shared research and things. So it's not like complete separate accounts. I wanted to keep something between them. Deliveries is just where you get deliveries if you complete missions and they're sending stuff to your base. I'm just going to go through the comments. All battleships fight against Titans on equal basis. I mean, a battleship versus a Titan won't be a 1v1 kind of fair fight. The Titans are going to be designed to be bigger and more powerful, but more costly. But then again, it may be got a Titan that's equipped for dealing with large swarms of corvettes. You've equipped it with all weaponry that's pointing towards that, in which case the battleship could overpower it. In terms of the multiple characters and being outs, they're all controlled by one account. So you can't like just create 30 characters on one account, and there's like email validation and a lot more out abuse targeting type things in this, which I couldn't do in AQ1. There's also like character renaming and stuff like that if we're talking about characters. All the advantages, disadvantages of having a big ship. Yeah, so big ships will cost more to repair. They're going to be more expensive to equip. But they're going to be quite nice targets if someone wants to come along and fight you. And yeah, they'll be slower to get around. Yeah, so big ships will be quite costly. So yeah, here's me in my little Hyperion in the dust cloud. No, you can't use more than one character at a time. So if I'm playing on Mr. Fish and I've got Mr. Pig on my account, I can only log into one at a time. I am fairly certain that's going to be the case forever because of how the code works with sharing a base and stuff. But there's a small chance I could change that in the future. But I doubt it, to be honest. Fleet loadout. So your ship is going to be one ship. If you want to control more than one, you can do that in certain situations. So I've got things like hiring mercenaries on the roadmap, which will fly alongside you. You can give them basic orders. You've got drones, which you can dispatch and target, and they're kind of basic. Go there, attack, come back, defend. And then the larger carriers will also have fighters, which will act like independent ships. But they will go with you when you warp to different sectors. So if you've got a big carrier ship, you could dispatch a fighter and you can tell that fighter to go off and do something else. Is there a reason I've gone for one ship? Yeah, I wanted to make a lot of the systems more in depth, and having one ship was easier for the player. But also because of the way this is set up, there's no instance battles and stuff. If I've got one ship here and I've got one ship over in the corner or in a different sector, that's just unmanageable. And yeah, I feel like this, for this kind of open battlefield stuff, it would be really hard. I mean, imagine if you were like playing World of Warcraft, but you had like, oh, that's really not a great comparison, but you know what I mean. If you had two characters you were controlling at the same time and you're running different places and fighting different, it'd be really hard. Like that's kind of the same feeling I had for this, because you're not just jumping into a single area. Like in AQ1, it's nice and controlled. When you're on your region map, you're flying around and then bam into a battle. You spread out into 3 ships. So one ship not only I think more suitable for this, but I think with all the new features and things, it's better. Yeah, so let's just do some stuff and I can show you a quick view for those of you who haven't seen it. This is space. This is a really basic sector because it's just my home base here. You've got a tactical view where you can pan around and look and check out various things on the battlefield. This will show your ranges and where you're moving to and any like tactical stuff like that. Tactical stuff in the tactical view. And then the main game view is like this. You've got chat, you've got friends lists, and you've got wings. Wings are cool. So wings are a new feature. In this game, because you're not in an instance of a battle with people who are directly helping you, you've got wings. I'm just repeating myself now. Basically, you can join a group with players. Don't have to be on your friends list or in your corporation or anything. They can be whatever. You join a group and then you share rewards for fighting. So if I was going to go kill someone now, it would be shared out equally between all my wing members. And this helps when you've got someone who's playing a support ship, which is maybe doing no damage, and you've got a few of you which are DPS, and they're killing things, they're getting bounties, and then you're still getting the rewards for that because you're in the same wing. Wings also have the benefit of having voice chat. There's voice chat in the game. I'm in a wing on my own, so I can't chat with anyone, but that's fully integrated and that's on mobile as well. And also command bonuses. I don't have any on this character, but you can get skills to say give everyone in your wing a little tiny damage bonus or things like that. And you'll also be able to see them on the map. And AI will react to your whole wing as if it was one person. That sounds weird. So if I was playing with someone and I went off and went over here and shot up some AQ ships, that would trigger regression to everyone in my wing. Will there be an option to pick which mic and speaker you use? I hope so, yeah. I mean, I haven't done any of that now because honestly, I'm not sure how at the minute. I've never done that, but if that's what you want, I can't see it being a problem. I mean, you must be able to do that somehow. And for now, it just defaults to whatever your default is. Yeah, wings. So you just invite people in your wing. You can invite through Discord as well. I can send a Discord invite and say, come join my wing. And you can see people on the map if they're in your wing. So wings are cool, wings are new, and wings are fun. Shared stuff. Right, map view, quick overview. This is the core region here. There's a little bit of belt region over here. Game split into different regions. And over here there's just one sector, which I think is the frontier region. They're separated by big old warp gates, these regions that you have to pay to go through. So there'll be a warp gate here, a jump gate. I'm rattling through this, but I don't know if people know this already. Within these areas, you can freely warp. So I can warp to here, I can warp to one of these little incursion events, I can warp over here. If I want to go into this area over here, I have to warp through the gated lines. So let's say I was going down here, that would be the path I would take to get there. But within these circles, you can freely warp to whichever place you want. At the minute, you can warp to wherever you want instantly because it's just my testing. Excuse me. Will there be a quick warp? Yeah, there's going to be some warps for going to longer range places. If your corporation has built like a warp beacon, you should be able to jump straight to it. So I could warp from here. If my corporation over here has built a warp beacon, go straight to it. I'll show you the jump gates because the jump gates should be working. So let's say I want to go from this core region over into the belt, which is classed as another whole new region. I will just warp there, and my ship will turn and warp. Is there going to be a way to protect new players? Yes. So the core region, which is most of those sectors you saw there, are high security. So they... Oh, I put a transparency effect on that. I don't remember doing that. That's just broken. Yeah, let's just colour that broke. Sorry, yeah, there'll be more security forces flying around in the higher core sectors, higher security core sectors. So they will protect new players. You can't just go up and attack someone unless they've got a bounty. Yeah, this warp gate should jump gate should show some particle effects and be spinning, but I've obviously not tested that for a while. So if I want to go through this, I would have to pay the owning corporation of this to be able to jump to there. And basically that separates out the regions, the core region from, this is going to be over here, the frontier, over this side of the belt, and then like void and cloud up here. And each region will have different enemy spawns, different security levels, different resources you can mine. Oh, there's a carrier. And that's the Sucurus, not Cicerus, Sucurus. I can't remember how I named these things. Yeah, that's a carrier ship. If I start blasting that, I'm just going to start blasting that. Show you how that works. So your weapons charge up. Different weapons have different charging speeds. And then they have reload speeds. So I'm slightly out of range. So if I come into range of that, it will start firing. As soon as my weapons get into range. They'll be at maximum range, so I won't have a very good chance to hit, but I'm against a massive ship here, so, and I'm using tier 3 and 2 weapons. They've got really good accuracy. Yeah, see they're cycling round, the little blue circles on the icons at the bottom. So I'm forgetting you can't see my cursor. Weapons at the bottom, I can toggle them off individually, and they will deactivate, and I can toggle, say, my tier 3 turrets onto that guy. Start blasting him. And they charge up, and there we go. The charge speeds are a new thing, so larger weapons take longer to charge up, and then they have a cycle speed. Some weapons will stay on, so they won't have this little reload thing. They're just constant, like engine dampeners, for example, will just stay on. So how many corps could there be that have their own territory? So each sector of these maps, each one of these little icons here, missing a name there, is its own ownable sector, and I'm planning to have a lot of them, but I guess I can add more people join. And then each area has kind of like a ownership. So here the area of Alshan is owned by AQ Security, which means they have a majority here. Once you own a majority of the sectors, then you gain bonuses to trade and things like that. I've just died. I don't know if you saw before I died, there were some warnings at the bottom about my engines being damaged and internal systems being damaged. It's going to be significantly harder to own the entire map. Yes, because mobility around the map is more limited, because I'm having to warp. Then it's not going to be a matter of, if my corp owns something over here, I'm just going to pop over here and take this stuff, because logistically that's going to be a little bit harder. But also, there's benefits to owning the local area. So if I'm going to capture this gate station here, I would gain trade benefits and revenue benefits from owning nearby sectors. I'd gain less benefit from owning something far away. Corp size limits, I don't know. I mean, I don't want to go as high as they are now. We'll start off small and we'll increase them. So I've just died, I can just respawn because it's testing. Right, yeah. You can repair your ship just by going and repair and spend some money. Let's go through some of this stuff. So we did the design, right, fittings. Hyperion's got most fittings because for testing. Utility systems, which are things like shield repairers and stuff like that. Internal systems, which are things like extra cargo slots and stuff, and then shield and armor. I can't buy anything here. There's nothing in the market because the system doesn't have a market because it's my home base. So let's just pop over to Orion 1 and I'll go to a market and show you buying and trading and stuff. Repairing is instant. How long does repair take? Repairing a ship is instant. Recovering a ship is a different thing. Like that ship died, so I should have a kill record from that ship. Yeah, so I lost my Hyperion here. I can see who killed it, its value, and then here in the future there'll be like, please salvage my ship, and it will recover that ship back to my home base. It's not a repair that ship. Similarly here I've got a Hyperion that I lost a few days ago. I can go, I want that ship back. So if you don't have the money, or you don't necessarily need that ship back right away, let's say it's a really expensive ship and you screwed up, then they're there. You can get them back later, but you can just buy a new ship, or you can just store some more ships in your home base. When you've got a hangar here, you can store ships. You can just swap to a new one. So yeah, it's not like AQ1 where you're going to have to wait to repair a ship, because those timers are gone. No one else can recover your ships. Someone can loot your ship. So if I was to die here, let's test that. Let's see if that, let's just aggro some AQ sec and I'll die. And your ship will sit there and you can recover your lost cargo, or someone else can come along and nick your cargo, because you've got a cargo hold on your ship, which will be lost when you inevitably die at some point. Right, let's just get wrecked by this Hyperion. So my utilities here, it's at the bottom, have just been damaged. Shields are damaged. They're internal damage that the ship's taken. Right, so where are we? Orion 1. If I respawn and go back to Orion 1, I should be able to find my floating wreck. Let's just jump back. Right, yeah, so there I am. My ship's destroyed. So let's say that was someone else that I've just gone and blown up. You've got a few things you can do with it. So I can loot from it, and looting is just basically, please take that. Your ship will grab it, and there we go. I've got some blueprints for engines and stuff. There is salvage. There isn't any on this ship, but salvage, you will need a salvage laser to extract. So there might be salvage of a turret, or salvage of just some ship hull parts, and you will then use a dedicated salvage weapon, which I can show you in a sec, and you'll be able to grab that out. So if you blow up a ship, another player or whatever, they've got some really cool equipment, there's a chance you could salvage that equipment for yourself. You can also just plain deconstruct the wreck. So over time, the integrity of the wreckage will be lowered, or lower. It's the browny orange bar here. When you deconstruct a wreck, you'll be given raw resources like ore and pyrite and stuff, and that will decrease the integrity, which I will quickly show you if I can get in and out before it disappears. No one can stop you from recovering your ship from the kill feed, like as in getting your ship back, but people could stop you going back to your ship. I mean, that's just a free-for-all now on that wreckage. Anyone can come along and grab it. So yeah, you will lose things in your cargo bay. So if I was a trader shuttling stuff around, then I would have lost what was ever in the cargo bay. That's gone. Well, it's sitting there. You could go back and get it. Right, let's just quickly buy deconstruction beam. Pop that on. I will talk this over in a minute. And what else do we need? Salvage laser. Not there was anything on there. With that, jump out. What was it? Right, still got some integrity left. So let's say I'm going to go salvage some ships. I'm guessing you don't lose weapons and defenses. What do you mean by that? Oh, these are player built buildings here as well. These are like your auxiliary buildings that have been built. Got a really big collision radius around that for some reason. Oh, right, yeah. So people can salvage turrets. So that imagine that ship's there and you had all your turrets on it. Someone could come along and salvage your turrets and things. But when you buy your ship back from the kill feed, if I was to buy that ship back here, I will get it back as it was with all the turrets. Consider it just like you're being reimbursed, like Titan Mining are coming along, or whatever, and they're giving you your ship back for a cost without your cargo and without any illegal stuff that was on it. Right, so there's no salvage on this to take, but there is. It has some hull integrity left, wreckage integrity. So if I use this deconstruction ray, which is just a constant weapon, so you can see it flashing down there, it will constantly grab ore from it, fill up my ore hold, and it will lower the integrity of the wreckage faster. So this little orange bar now should be going down faster and faster as I'm deconstructing that wreck. Once it reaches 0, that wreckage will be blown up and everything on it will be lost. So you could come along, grab all your loot, salvage stuff, deconstruct the wreck, and you've kind of got everything you can from it then. But you are taking up turret slots with this, so you might want to have someone in your wing or in your corporation that's going to come along and salvage up everything, and then you can kind of share stuff out later, because you can do player-to-player trading. I think my cargo hold's probably full there. So if I was to get blown up now, these pulse cannons and this ore in my hold would be lost, but they would sit on my wreckage, or some of it would, that other people could come along and loot. How punishing would it be to die and lose a ship? Depends what you've lost. I mean, if you're running a cheap ship with cheap equipment, not much in your cargo hold, it's fine. If it's a massive ship, then it could be quite expensive, but if you're rich, it might not be. It's kind of, if you're living beyond your means, I guess, if you've saved up everything you can and bought a Titan, you've got no sinking fund, you might not be able to afford getting it back. But you could save up and then get it back later. You're not going to lose the ability to get it back. If you have 0 money and all your ships die, then you'll get your default starting ship. Each character has their own default starting ship, depending on their background. I didn't show you the character creator because I've already created a character, but you can select a background, like be a trader or be a mercenary, and traders will start with little trade ships. I think that's just crashed. Yep, because it's whinging about a Leviathan. Just restart that. And I will start the server 1 second. Just answer some questions while that's restarting. So no, your starting ship you can just get back. It's free. It's rubbish and it's free. And you get payout from your corporation, or someone could send you some stuff to start off better, or you could just do some easy missions to earn some resources, chips, and some chips. Okay, servers are just restarting now. Right. Yeah. Let's just go through the other stuff. So that's salvaging and wreckages and the like, which I think is quite cool. Quite like that. I like that. If you're a miner and you're just flying around mining stuff, you might want to equip like a little deconstruction ray, just in case any pirates in AQ get into a little fight, and you could just nip over and grab some resources off the ships, off some wreckages, because AQ and that will always be fighting. Unity's charged their download thing recently, or it's not affected. It will affect this version, sadly, because I'm on the version which will be affected, but I'm confident that it's not going to be an issue. They've changed their rules recently, and to my knowledge now, if you're on their pro license, which is like £2,000 a year, but necessity, I guess. If you're on their pro license, you need at least a million installs and $1 million in revenue in the last 12 months before you're affected at all. And well, I mean, AQ1's been running for 5 years, and I am absolutely nowhere near either of those figures on that. I mean, if I was pulling in 1 million downloads and $1 million a year, then I don't think I'd have a problem. But that's kind of like the dream. But if I did hit that, and yeah, their fees come along, then you can either say I'm going to pay per install. So let's say I get another 100,000 installs, then I could say to Unity, okay, well, I'll give you 15 cents for each one of those. Or you can do it based on revenue. So you could say, well, actually, 15 cents on all those is loads of money. Can't do the maths on that. I'll instead give you 2.5% of what I earned in the last month, which might be less. Let's say you've got loads of people installing it, but you're not earning very much because everything's quite cheap, etc. Then it might be better just to go, well, I'll just give you 2.5% of the revenue because that's not much. It's the same kind of problem that everyone was whinging about. When I say whinging, it's legitimate. It was that Unity were absolutely in the wrong here. Their initial announcement was horrible, and they were completely wrong. People weren't whinging. People were quite right to complain because it was awful what Unity said. I mean, they were saying basically, give us 15 cents per install, done. And for example, AQ1, for every person that I get in, I don't earn 15 cents. So I would get to the point where maybe advertising costs me 10 cents, and an average player I earn 12. That's a pretty legitimate guess. Then Unity won 15. Well, I've already kind of, paid for the advertising to get that one user. I've earned a little tiny bit off the average user. And then Unity are coming along going, well, give me 15 cents as well. You can bankrupt people like that. It's fine for paid games if I'm on Steam and I'm selling a game for 10 quid or 30 quid. 15 cents per install is fine. It doesn't work for mobile games though, where you're getting a lot of users and you're not earning very much from them. But yeah, as I say, they've changed that. So rant over. That's hopefully not going to be an issue now, and the servers have restarted. So let's get back into that. Yeah, so it's not as bad, but I still, they screwed up. They really screwed up. It's not cool. And there's talk, could I go to another engine, Unreal or Godot? No. I mean, it would just take me way too long. I've been working on this for ages, and one of the good things about Unity is that you're programming it in C#, and I use C# for the server as well. So there's hundreds of thousands of lines of code on the server, and years worth of knowledge from AQ1 ported over to AQ2. And I'm programming that all in C#, and I can take a subset of that and then put it into the client. So I'm not making the server and then making the client game that you'll download completely separately. They're sharing some code, so it's nice and easy. If I was to use Unreal, I'd have to use C++, so I'd have to kind of rewrite everything, and then also rewrite everything again. If you see what I mean. So yeah, I don't think it's going to be an issue. It is better now. It's not great, and Unity, they need to sort their stuff out. It's lagging behind. Sorry, drinking. Okay, rant over. Yeah, what was I going to show you guys? That was deconstructing and stuff. Yeah, fittings and weapons and stuff. So you've got utility shots. Each ship will have different layouts. For example, this is a tier 3 utility slot. You can see in the top right it says that there. It's not very obvious. It's got a tier 2 utility slot, and I can put in things like shield power cells. So I just buy one of those, drop it in. These market rates go up and down, so here it's worth 1900. Might be cheaper somewhere else. You can make money off trading if that's the case. Equip that. You've got shield, armors, engines, AI, which are just little add-ons for bonuses. Auras, which are cool, so I can show you some auras. Let's do the hardening aura, show you that. Let's grab some drones. Got combat drones, repair drones, mining drones. Grab some mining drones. Surface weaponry, so there's like a stealth generator, and AML, which is the anti-missile laser. It's like it is an AQ1, but it looks cooler. Looks much cooler. I'll show you stealth first. I'll take the other one with me as well. I'll buy a copy of it. Let's install surface generator, and let's go fly around with those. So, oh, I didn't sell my stuff. Yeah, so Terraria game dev donated, as I recall, $200,000, 100,000 to Godot and 100,000 to something else, maybe something like that. It was a lot. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Yeah, so those things I've just bought are in my cargo hold here. And I could take them and drop them off at my station, or I could sell them in another station, or I can like literally just chuck them out, jettison them into space. I could have sold it all when I was back there as well. Right, so mining drones. You can launch some drones. The little pits above the drone in the bottom shows me how many drones I've got active. There they are. They all just mine stuff that's nearby. Auras, so let's activate a shield hardening projector, which will increase shield regeneration for everyone around me. So now I'm pumping that out. You can see the stats effect at the bottom, shield hardener, and the little drones will also have it, and it will be shown in here. One of those circles is the shield hardener. It should probably be blue, not red. So that's affecting any allied ships nearby, boosting their shields up. And stealth. So stealth is new in AQ2. You can go stealth and get hidden from people. And there we go. It should be able to disappear. Doesn't work when you've got an aura and the turrets are broken. So in stealth, I am completely invisible, but if I was to attack, I would become visible, and if I was to get hit, I would become visible. I find something I can attack without getting absolutely destroyed, so I don't have to come back and get the stuff again. Yeah, let's fly somewhere else. Let's go to a nice nebula. Do you think you need to become obsolete? No, I just think they need to reevaluate what they're doing. Your home station can't be attacked. No, your home station is yours. It's just there in your little pocket of space. It can't be attacked. Is there a dedicated anti-stealth module? You could call the pulse bomb an anti-stealth module. I mean, that will knock people out of stealth. Right, so is there any... there's some pirates over here. Actually, they'll probably wreck me. I've got mining drones. Mining! Asteroids, you'll find asteroids with different ores. So these ones I'm selecting here are all plain regular ore. That's some pyrite. Rarer resources in more dangerous areas. So if I go stealth, these might not see me. Don't target me. Oh, they might target my mining drones. Oh, are they going for them? Possibly. Yeah, they are. You can get a stealth aura if you don't want this to happen. Yeah, they're getting blown up. Those drones aren't going to be able to mine anything. Goodbye, drones. But if I was to come along now, charge up my weapons charging up, and start blasting, it'll break stealth. And if I was to then turn them off, it should go back into stealth, unless I'm being hit, which I am. So now the ship is trying to go back into stealth, but failing because I'm taking damage. If I was to run far enough away and stop taking damage, the stealth would reactivate properly, and I'd be able to sneak away. Some AQ second here, maybe they'll help out. Maybe I'll get away. Let's see. So questions. I like the idea of profitable mining in the mine. Yeah, you can just mine. I mean, I could just come along here and do some mining if I'd avoided the pirates. Let's lure them back in towards AQ sec. Oh, no, maybe I'll get... Oh, there we go. Stealth's reactivated fully. So now I'm back to full stealth because I've not been hit for a while. Just about see my ship and little bits of fire. With the way weapon charging works as well, you could go stealth and then start charging my weapons because that takes a bit longer than reloading. And then as soon as they've come out of stealth, drop off the shield generators, it's not using up too much energy, start blasting. Yeah, so you can just mine for profit. You can just trade for profit as well. Each item it sells for different prices in different places. I can't access that from here. have to go into the station. Right, so there you go, blown up. That catapult one, I can see what he's got on him. Oh, he's got some salvage, so he's got some scrap, he's got some tags, which are loot. These loot items go into your kind of pocket, they don't sit in a ship. Close enough to do that, that's not telling me that. So if I want to take some of these, this scrap, I need a dedicated salvage laser, which is when I can activate this. Make some room in my, I've got room in my cargo hold. Activate my salvage weapon. Is that broken? No. Okay, the effect's not working, but I am getting that scrap, so that's taken that scrap out. I should have some scrap on me now. That's what the salvage laser does. Just imagine it had a cool effect like the deconstruction laser. So yeah, there are weapons that can be more beneficial coming out of stealth, like siege weaponry for attacking outposts. Can take 10 seconds to charge up before they fire. So you could all come along, sit in stealth, all charge your weapons up while in stealth, and then it will like unload a load of volleys at them. I should show you the AML as well. Let's dock and repair, and I'll show you the AML and some other stuff. And yeah, so there's stealth auras as well, so a bigger ship could have a stealth aura to cover the entire fleet while they powered up. Let's repair. Let's sell some of my stuff. So we can look at my cargo. So I've got 8 pyrite on me. I can instantly sell that and it will just go to the market and sell it for the best price. Or it won't. Yay, alpha bugs. Oh no, there's no market available here. Why do I go to the places where there's no market available? Right, let's get back out. I have to put a market in some of these sectors as well. There are only markets available in each of the main capital areas and stations. Is there a way to immediately choose and shoot at the same time as targets or allies? Not at the minute. Maybe I could add some kind of like emoting system. Oh, I need to show ship boarding and stuff like that as well, don't I? Yeah, that's all new. Boarding stations. Boarding stations is what I mean. Station boarding. Let's go over that because that's a really cool new feature where you board stations and do like proper little assaults and things. Right, so now I should be able to say, let's just instant sell that, boom, get the money, or sell this, and I can see the market rate here, see how much the average price is on the left, where it says 89 to 108. So that means some place it must be selling for 108. So this is actually quite a bad place to sell because it's 34% below the average price. But you can just go in and sell stuff. Okie dokie. So I need a new ship because I want to show you station boarding. So let's show you what has. I need more money. Money. Right, let's just. I'm gonna just go to the database 1 second and give myself a whole bunch of money. Bear with me. I can show you some station boarding. So I've got 70,400 at the minute. Well, that's my bank account. Sorry, I do have another account which I should use. Right, I'm being dyslexic. There we go. Right, let's give us a whole bunch of money. Done. Let's kick that in by selling something. And I've got a whole bunch of money. Right, let's get a big, nice big fat ship. I think that's got boarding parts and stuff. Yeah, it has. Boom. Right. Can you check the market prices of other places without visiting them? You will be able to, yeah. I mean, at the minute you can. So if I go here, this is the price history, and then this screen here will show you more detailed price history and how much they sell for in different places. That information is also available on the website if you want to do it that way. Siege weaponry is massive siege weaponry used for taking on stations. Might as well pop it in and show you. Boarding pods. So this boarding pod thing is completely new to AQ2. It's probably not going to work here. Probably just going to get absolutely destroyed. But if I want to capture this station, it's not like AQ1 where I just start blasting. I can just start blasting if I want to, but there's a new boarding feature. So if I fire up one of these little boarding pods, it takes a little while for these little guys to pop out. They will fly off, board the station. It will start a little boarding attack thing. Come on, boarding pod. So I mean about some weapons having a really slow charge up. This is all new. I should be able to. I'll just grab control of this sector if it doesn't work. Okay, there's my little boarding pod. Off he goes. He will send dudes to that station. The station could shoot that down if they were so inclined, but AI is not very good. Right, once he hits that station, it will show that it's boarding. There you go. So the outpost is now being assaulted. You can see my one little dude on the left in the top right versus four dudes and then 5 reinforcements. He's about to die. Only one little guy in a boarding pod. Poor little guy. Yeah, he's getting shot up. There are sound effects for this happening, and I'm going to add some visual effects as well. But yeah, he's a goner. Sorry, dude. You can get dedicated boarding ships, and you can do this with other people in your corporation as well. So you could all fire boarding pods and try and take control. Yeah, he's not made it, unfortunately. And the defending station can install modules in their station for extra troops or defensive weaponry. But this isn't going to work, so I'm going to go and cheat. So I want to do admin claim, and I want to be fish. No, I'm not an admin either. That's account. Alright, I'm going to do that from the other account. It's rubbish. I have to edit it in the database. Okay. Right. Let me jump out of this, and I'm going to jump into my other account. Let me just pause this a second. Oh, I didn't put the little overlay on. Right. Let me jump into my other account, and I'll show you proper boarding stuff. And also all the new features for building outposts. Speech bubbles. What are we doing with? Yeah, that'd be cool. Alright. Let's log out of this. I don't want to log out, not exit. Log in. That's going to ask me for a 2-factor authentication password. Yep. Right. Yeah, there is more account security in AQ2, so it's just popped up and asked me for a secondary code, like so you can link your phones codes to stuff. Rambling again. Yeah, I mean security, account security, all the good stuff. Right, let's pop this back on. Right, we good? We can see. Yeah. Okay. Crabby. Okay, so I think I own some outposts. Yeah, so I own OR1, which is the one I was just attacking actually. And there's loads of new stuff at Outpost. It's in the blog. I won't go over all of it, but you can manage your people and their food and power and crew quarters as things as well. This is an absolute mess at the minute, this screen. But I can build like a new mining array or defense platforms, solar power plants, stuff like that. So let's say I build a new fusion power plant. Have we got enough money to do that? I don't know if we've got enough money to do that. I don't know if this works. Did that? Yeah, OR1. Let's go to OR1 and see if there's a new fusion power plant being built. Yeah, I think this stuff's a bit too complicated to go over in a stream. I will need a blog post, but yeah, see this building being built here now by the corporation. And you can kind of see information here about the base. Again, sorry, the screen's such a mess. So on the right, you can see it's got stability. They're well fed. They're underworked, but there's been a recent assault on the base. They're a bit unhappy about that. You can see they've got 58% satisfaction. 250 people living there. There's 250 houses. There's jobs for 227 people. So some of them are unemployed. I can construct new modules. So let's say I didn't have enough food. I could make a hydroponic farm or reinforce shields, but that would cost 1 job and 2 power. You've got to manage this stuff now. And it will show you what trade resources are going down here. So we're producing 280 fresh food, 100 medical supplies, 100 raw ores. We're getting bonuses from being well fed, underworked, but we're -1 assault. So if the satisfaction of the station went too low, there'd be a riot, and they would rise up and try and take it back. And yeah, these screens are a bit rubbish, so I apologize, but that's kind of how that works. Yeah, just one for the blog and stuff, I think. There were a few questions earlier about changing your profile. Yes, you can do that. You can change your avatar. You can change the frame that's around your avatar, banner, background, and you've got titles as well. They're all unlocked through various means, so you can change all that. Yeah, I think I'm gonna call it a night. Were there any other immediate questions? Otherwise, I will shut this down. I'll just leave that there for a sec. Cool. All right then. I will leave it. Cool. All right. Thanks everyone. And I know I can ramble a bit, but hopefully that would made some sense. Cool. Night all.